Hello everyone, and welcome to another horrific review. Steve and I are back as we continue our look into the Hammer horror series of films with The Shadow of the Cat, directed by Gilling. A house cat sees her mistress murdered by two servants under orders from her husband and becomes ferociously bent on revenge. Anna couldn't find any box office stuff for some reason.
£81,000 was the budget, which at today's rate is about 1.8 million, I think it was.
Considering this takes place mainly in like one room and a field.
I don't know what the box office was on it, but I read in the thing it was £81,000. So let's just see if I can.
Yeah, it was around about this time. It's difficult to get box office figures. Unless something does really, really well, some reason to put the figures together. But if it's just a normal return or a failure, they kind of kept quiet about it back in the day, and there wasn't the same electronic accounting. So
I think it was. £81,000. And directed by John Gilling.
It was also a joint venture, so this is a joint Hammer Films and BHP production, which might explain the complete difference in tone.
Yeah.
At this point, with 13 movies in, we've now built up the expectation of what a Hammer movie is. We've now built up what we expect the aesthetic of a Hammer movie is. And then to go back to this is a bit strange.
But it's funny you should say that, because the Monthly Film Bulletin, their critic review was uninterestingly plotted old dark house thriller, overplayed, long drawn out, and fatally lacking in nuance and atmosphere. And yet, Colin Weekly wrote fascinating and suspenseful, creepy.
So you can tell who the shill was, who was paid to give the review.
Yeah, mixed reception, really.
I'm still in two minds whether I like it or not. As I suppose just a throwaway movie, it's not bad. As a Hammer film, at this point, if it had been maybe one of the first Hammer films, I would see it.
Well, believe it or not, the in the cinemas you used to get two films.
Yeah,
it wasn't actually released as the A movie.
So it was a B movie.
It was the second film with Curse of the Werewolf as the first film. So it was released in May '61 on a double feature bill with Curse of the Werewolf.
So there you go. Interesting. So we're back to black and white, and I mean, not even what would be considered modern black and white at that point, but old school black and white.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether it was just the copy that I was watching, or I felt that the sound, like you said, the black and white was old school black and white, but the sound appeared to be more modern.
It's a strange watch. I'll give it that. It's like I still haven't made my mind up, even as we go through this, whether I liked it or not. That's how confused I am by watching this. It's strange.
I did like it. I felt it was, it was one of the old style sort of verging on a haunted house type of thing. But they were being harassed by a cat. I think the best actor was the cat.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Because oh my word!
I thought, hey, if they had the cat in what was that Stephen King one?
Pet Sematary.
Pet Sematary.
Yeah, how to play in church.
In Pet Sematary, he would have killed the part, wouldn't he? But
and it was just one cat as well. It wasn't multiple cats. Yeah. There was one cat that was trained.
Yeah, the cat was.
Cat gets a credit.
It does, yeah.
And his trainer gets a credit.
Bunky the cat was called. But yeah, no. The only mistakes I could find was with the cat. And a couple of the shots, you could see that there was a small like line on the neck where they were obviously trying to control the direction of the cat. But yeah, it's that was the only mistakes I could find on there. But the cast, they had appeared in several sort of horror productions, both previously and after this. You had one of the cast, Andre Morale, who played Walter.
Mm-hmm.
He was in an earlier version of the TV series of Quatermass and the Pit.
I could see him playing Quatermass.
Yeah, he was actually Quatermass, but in the TV series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see him playing that character.
Yeah, and the girl who played Beth, who was Barbara Shelley, she actually appeared in the 1967 Quatermass film. So one we haven't looked at yet. I don't know if it was a Hammer. And just a couple of the others, they appeared in various horror films, and plus one of them appeared in the Doctor Who film with our favourite Peter Cushing.
Oh, yeah, there's Alex.
Yeah, it's quite a wide range of cast, really.
Yeah.
Unknown from any previous film, Hammer film, and it was a different director, of course.
Yep.
Different musical director.
It's a completely different tone.
Yeah, but I did enjoy it. I thought
if it had been like the first or second Hammer movie, I would get it. But at this point, Hammer is established. It has an established thematic tone about it across across everything. It's looks, it's actors, it's music, it's it's a package at this point. You go to a Hammer movie, like I think maybe it being a B movie and the fact it's joined with BHP, so people weren't expecting anything. But if this had been advertised as a Hammer movie, there would have been some clashback against it. People would have come out absolutely annoyed.
Here's a question for you then: the poem that
the Raven.
You do know it. I was gonna say, do you know it?
He does it. It's flipping classic Poe. She's reading out the Raven. The flip's sake. She just didn't say he doth quoth nevermore. Just.
God damn.
Come on, that's. If they wanted to telegraph it was a horror movie, then sure, read out some Poe. Why not?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've got a funny feeling this is another radio play. This is something you would expect.
Quite possibly,
to be Halloween radio scare ghost stories or something.
Yeah. Because I mean, even the sound effects of the cat were something you get in the radio
Foley table.
Yeah. So,
which they were all done live, by the way, if you remember.
Yeah, that's right.
They were done. Somebody had a Foley table in the studio, and they basically did what they did for the episode.
Yeah,
which to me is amazing.
Yeah,
I cheat. I have a library of wave files, all my special effects, and even new ones. You know what I mean? I cheat. I haven't made one in years now. I used to make my own, and I don't think people want to hear me crashing and bashing about the place, so that's why I don't do it anymore. But yeah, these people used to do it live on the radios, and that's I kind of got that feeling about it. But it's a strange intro because we have Ella rewriting her will.
Yeah,
or she's rewritten her will, and she's reading Poe to the cat. We have Andrew come up and she's like, "Oh, I did it. I did exactly what you wanted." Which it's like, what is this? If she was determined not to leave Walter or anything, and if she was already wary of him,
Yeah.
She almost signed her own death certificate by doing that. Where if she
Yeah,
held off,
she did, but perhaps she wasn't expecting someone to hit her over the head with a bloody
obviously,
truncheon.
I applaud their attempt. Like, this is an intense action scene for back in the day, but you can see him missing. You know what I mean? Not even hitting anywhere near her.
Yeah, yeah. It's like the old Faulty Towers sketch when Sybil was in the builder with the umbrella, and she was missing more than she was hitting. It was. I thought the opening scene just set the story. I felt, especially reading The Raven, I thought, oh, this is scary stuff. And then when he came in and whacked over there, the instant thing I thought was, this is so Sherlock Holmes. I was expecting the guy with the pipe to be contacted and Dr. Watson to walk in. I thought it's pure like a Sherlock Holmes thriller rather than a horror. Bit like my books are horror thrillers. I mean, they're not always horror. Sometimes they're what I call horror thriller, where the deaths are too gruesome to be called a thriller. But they're, you wouldn't really call them horror. So I deem them as horror thrillers on the cover. And I think this was probably about the same.
If we hadn't seen that there was Andrew, and we hadn't seen like them all leading out the barrier, it could have been a murder mystery.
Yeah.
Who killed her, sort of thing, and then the cat was solving the crime or pointing it out. But I just love the fact Walter's so snooty and stuck up that he can't even carry out his own murder. He has to get the servants to do it for him.
Yeah.
But, and the fact that the whole household's in on it, like, how bad was Ella? What did Ella do to deserve that?
Yeah, I know. She's she gets, and everyone's suddenly afraid of the cat, aren't they? They're bloody hell, why you be afraid of the cat? You just put out a fish on the ground and they'll come to you.
They were over telegraphing it. I think they really were over. Oh, the cat is got powers or something.
Yeah,
they're really overdoing it. I think that's a problem I've had throughout this. That the no tension or building up or not understanding what was going on. Oh, somebody's killing us, or I'm hearing stuff.
I think the title give it away. The opening scene, you saw the woman get murdered, and with the title of The Shadow of the Cat, you more or less guessed what the storyline was, that the cat was going to take some type of revenge because her mistress was killed, but I mean, I just felt it was right for a black and white film. I felt, it added to the atmosphere. Even though I said to you, there's a mixed reception where, one major critic says there was no atmosphere, and yet the other one says this was suspenseful, creepy, fascinating, suspenseful, creepy.
It's reassuring to know that nothing's changed. We think this whole polarized movies things is a new phenomenon, but it's obviously always been the case. Like I said, I'm in two minds. I haven't. There's aspects of it I like. I can see it as a radio play. I really do see the dialogue and that as if they've co-written or repurposed a radio play for this, because you could picture having your eyes closed. It's the cat again, and the way they're speaking. It's if it's for a radio audience as opposed to on film. I just think they went a bit too much. Like, we know it was a cat, but if it had been a bit of a mystery, and the cat turning up at certain points, like scaring somebody, making them fall over, or they put a set of shells or something on top of them, but the whole really obvious thing of them chasing the cat throughout the household was a bit much, I just thought.
Yeah, I thought Andrew's death was quite a bit over the top as well, because he went in the swamp and um, didn't he? He followed the cat into the
Yeah.
swamp, and suddenly, 1 minute he was laying on top of the mud, next thing he was sinking in it. And it isn't as if, it was. I mean, it was British. We hardly get stuff like quicksand over here, but
No.
that quicksand it's. I'm trying to think of the word now.
It's a river. When a river is passing underneath a body of, it's a.
Yeah, but it doesn't. If you just stay still, it will not suck you in.
No, because it's a pulling the river. If you're disturbing it, you're pulling the sand down into the underwater.
Yeah. So it's misunderstood quicksand, and this wasn't quicksand because it was just mud. And
Yeah, but we don't have that topography here, so it doesn't even make sense. We don't have sinkholes. We don't have that. What we do have is because somebody decided to build a load of houses under the water table and chop down all the trees in the place, flooding.
Yeah.
Let's build everything on the Thames and chop down all the trees, which absorb water. We've got flooding now. Who saw that coming?
Yeah. Yeah.
That any of our disasters are due to stupidity. The worst thing we have obviously are storms, because we're an island. So coastal towns get absolutely battered, and we get, proper storms come in. But we've built over the years and deal with that, so they're not the disasters they could be.
No.
That's why we all got solid brick houses, etc., because we couldn't have anything less. Trying to import other countries like natural disasters doesn't really work. Even the bugs weren't that bad, like even back home, the peat bugs and that, people didn't get sucked in, they were placed in them.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in the Dartmoor bogs, and even them, my leg has sort of disappeared up to the knee, but that's about it.
You're not going to vanish. So
no.
Once again, a bit strange.
I just felt that was a bit, silly. Because, like I said, 1 minute he fell over and he was just lying on top, and anyone with a bit of sense would have thought, "I'll roll out of this," because it would have been harder to even sink down to your knees then. But he just went, "Oh," and disappeared.
Do you think this was originally meant to be a comedy? I've got the feeling it might have been written like I don't know whether it's intentional or unintentional comedy in this, but I almost get the feeling that if this had been like Carry On, Murder Your Wife, or a sort of slapstick thing, it might have fitted better.
Well, it's like I said to you previous, wasn't it? The company that made it, BHP, they only done 4 films under the BHP thing, and one of them was a short. So really, you can say that they only done 3, and the film they did after this was a comedy. I'm trying to find it now. I forgot what I said. Where's it gone?
Yeah, I'm just going to wee bit of disjointed.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, the next film that they produced was No Sex Please We're British, which was a terrible comedy with Ronnie Corbett, wasn't it? Little Ronnie Corbett was in it.
Yeah.
Who else? Arthur Lowe. So the usual sort of Dad's Army stroke. Beryl Reid. Yeah. So that was the next one that they produced. I mean, was BHP a sort of side hammer company, or were they an entity of their own that, that they used to co-produce with other film companies? I don't know.
It's
But that No Sex Please Were British was a radio play to start with. So whether BHP used to take radio plays and think, oh, this will make a good film.
that's the impression I'm getting of this, that it's
who can we ask to help us with it?
Mm-hmm.
Let's ask Hammer.
Because obviously Hammer has the distribution, and then
yeah,
if they were, if that was going to be their thing, but then again, if they've only done 4 movies or a handful of movies, then they obviously didn't last very long.
No. Yeah. So. But yeah, I felt it was very old school. The black and white gave it the. I think if it had been made in color,
wouldn't have worked.
There wouldn't have been the feeling of like when the cat was. I mean, the cat was evil, and I felt if they had the cat in Pet Cemetery, this cat, he would have killed it. Yeah, the cat just had those eyes, and I've experienced a cat who doesn't like you before, and yeah, because I'm not a cat person, but
I don't mind them. I'm always been a dog person though.
We used to have 2 because we got told by the Woodside that they come as a pair, they're together, they were found together, and so we had 2, and they're the most unloyal bloody animal you can ever imagine. They'll go to whoever feeds them, really. And then
we've had cats all our life, and none of them are ours.
Yeah,
those the bloody neighbours' cats. Actually, my family my sister and mum got into a fight with a neighbour over their cat. They would dump their cat out at night, and the cat would essentially just go into my mum's house and stay overnight. And it was just this has been going on for about a year or 2.
Yeah.
And it was my sister who went, God, I can't remember, Crooks, right? She's like, come on, Crooks, time to come in. And the neighbour flipped the lid. Like, and you sort of try to get the logic here. The neighbour's happy enough to throw the cat out at night and let it roam about. But the fact that because the cat was so ingrained, in fact, do you know how bad it was? When they get the dogs to sit for their treat, the cat would sit in the middle of the dogs.
Yeah.
Like, just sit with the dogs, to get it straight.
Yeah.
And it was just that, part of the household. And they didn't see anything of it, just went, right, come on, right, time to come in. And that apparently set the neighbour off, and that whole big wing thing about it. I'm just like, what the hell? I don't understand cat owners as well that throw their cats out at night and stuff, and
Yeah, I mean some cats actually like to be out more than they're in, don't they? And the other way around, some cats are just lap cats, aren't they? They like to stay in, and you've got to have a litter tray.
Dogs are like that too.
Yeah, my son had gay cats. Yeah, because he had the father of the kittens. He had 2. He had a mother and a father, and he used to breed them in kittens. But the father used to go up on top of the shed roof and shag the male cat from next door. You'd see him always on top of the bloody shed roof, bonking away. They were gay cats.
Brilliant. They're a strange animal. Like can't even have one now because we've got birds. Just would be a disaster. Like, there's loads of cats around here, and some of them do come right up to you and try and follow you home.
Yeah,
it's like, no, not happening.
Well, we got someone up here who takes their cat out on a harness, takes it for a walk. Quite often I've been around the lake with Oreo, and this person's been around with his
I know
cat.
people do that there.
Yeah.
There's some people who just have bulls out. I don't know if it's for their cats or just the general cats.
Yeah.
What's funny is we have loads of foxes around here, so I would thought there would be a problem with the two of them, but they don't. They seem to just ignore each other and get on.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But this cat, I loved this cat. I thought, he's brilliant. And of course, back then you couldn't have a mechanical or a CGI cat.
oh no, it look awful.
You know, this was a proper cat, and even his ears used to go back as if to say, "I am angry. I'm going to get you." I would have in the film gone, "Oh my god, he's going to get me," just by looking at him. You know.
Yeah, well, the cat knows at the end of the day. It knows what's happened. It's watched
Yeah.
the murder of its mistress, and
it's believable because animals do know, you know, things like this, and you've got to give them more credit than anything. I mean, you know.
if the animal doesn't like somebody, if your pet doesn't like someone, be wary of them.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, my niece's parrot used to hate me, and
There you go.
Yeah.
It's a good judge of character.
Yeah, I know, but for no reason at all, I'd never done anything to this parrot. Perhaps it's because I never ever give it a treat. I don't know.
Birds are funny like that when it comes to male and females.
Yeah.
So you'll have a parrot will only bond with females, and it used to be thought that a male bird would only go with female handlers and vice versa, but it's actually that they just there'll be birds and they just don't like men or they don't like women, and that's it.
Yeah, but
And you'll never bring them around.
He used to walk along the back of the sofa, and he used to come up to me, and I used to think, "Is he going to be my friend today?" So I went, "Oh, hello, Merlin." Went to sort of rub his beak, and he'd go like this.
What type was it?
Blood. It was a green thing. Oh God, yeah, I remember Merlin. But yeah.
Birds are a different kettle of fish altogether. Like they do it in their terms. That's it. No ifs, buts, or maybes. You can train them, you can teach them certain things, but if they don't want to play, that's it. They're not doing it.
But he used to make a thing about coming over. You know, if I sat in the chair across the room, and they let him out, he'd come across the back of the sofa again, then fly over to the chair and attack me. Yeah. And then I go away. And he used to go back on the sofa then to my niece. Yeah, he'd make a thing if I was there about attacking me.
Yep. Talking of nieces, we then we meet basically Walter, Andrew, and Clara. Basically, the three culprits. It's a joint operation getting Ella taken out of the house and buried.
Yeah.
Like not just so blasé about it, checking that nobody's about. It's like really like what does she do that the entire household hates her, and the fact that so casually everyone's on board to get her bumped off, and she's not even like buried 5 minutes, and Walter's already planning to take care of the niece death.
You think, if anything, Walter is the nasty one. You know, I would have killed him off as opposed to the woman who sat there being intellectual reading The Raven.
That's what I mean. What did she do to have the whole household? Like, you'd think the staff would be like, "Yeah, we'll take Ella's side. At least we'll be treated decently."
Yeah,
it's a strange plot.
I mean, he even admitted, all she does is like sit in her room and read and things like that, and you think, what's wrong with that?
Yeah,
you know, it's a bit of silence. At least you're not getting nagged to the left, right, and centre.
But just they're doing their thing. Let them crack on. And if you don't love her anymore, well, even better. There you go.
Yeah, get on with it.
I've never understood the whole thing. Families and wills and estates and stuff. Even if the love goes out of a marriage, especially in a mansion, like you have enough space to not be in each other's faces. As long as you're not antagonizing each other, crack on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a strange thing, and there's always one has to be the antagonist, has to keep poking and poking and poking.
Mm.
When these things break down, and yeah, just I scratch my head when it comes to talking about this sort of stuff. I'm like, oh, this is people stuff, right? I'll not worry about that then. I'll just look at the supernatural stuff because
Mm.
people confuse me. Like the way people get on, and it's so random. Like you think you have it sorted out, and then people just act completely random, and you're like,
Yeah.
where'd this come from?
Mm.
That's kind of it. So Walter has the new will that leaves everything to him.
Yeah. And does he think he's actually going to get away with it with the coppers? He's more or less telling them what to do.
It's a
In a way.
strange setup.
Oh, she's gone off again. Well, has she taken any clothes? No, no. Well, she's done that before. Okay. Go and find her.
But here's
Well,
the thing: even he could have got her committed. Job
yeah,
done.
back then,
Yeah, back then, he got her committed.
sitting in your room and not having any contact, they would have committed you. Yeah.
But I just love the fact he has the inspector on speed dial, basically, at his beck and call. The bit I was having trouble wrapping my head around is why does the local reporter travel around with the inspector?
Yeah.
That's a bit of a what are you doing here? And you will give a statement to the paper? No, I won't. Yes, you will. It's like, what is this?
Yeah, it's a way to get a story, I suppose.
Yeah. But I think it's later on is explained, but actually a lot of films wouldn't bother, but Ella helped set up his paper.
Mm.
So she actually helped either loaned him the money or
Yeah.
partly funded it. So she effectively owns the paper or she hasn't been paid back. And he owes his livelihood to her.
Yeah.
So at least that got explained later on. But the fact that in the opening scenes you've got a newspaper reporter traveling around with the inspector as if it's normal, they do this all the time.
Yeah.
You're just like, okay,
I think if you look at it, I mean, you don't know what happened back in those days, but I mean, this day and age, just wouldn't get it. They try and get the press as far away from them as possible, wouldn't they? But
during an active investigation.
yeah, they wouldn't let them near really,
Mm.
just in case there was foul play, which there was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, but they all got killed apart from Clara, wasn't it? Was it Clara?
No, Clara got killed as well.
Um,
He could push down the stairs.
yeah. Clara got pushed down the stairs. Which one survived? Ella.
No, Ella was the first one. She was the one killed first of all. No, Beth and
Yeah, Beth.
Beth's his ace.
Beth loved the cat, but she hardly done anything to save it during the film, did she? Apart from give it a cuddle now and again.
It was weird.
When
That's what I'm saying. I'm scratching my head with the whole whether I like this movie or not because really, why is she there when Ella's missing?
Mm.
And also, once again, the timing of this, he said he sent her a letter, he didn't ring her. And she just comes immediately. Like she doesn't have a life of her own.
No. And not only that, if she came, she would have been expecting something. If the person did die, she would have been expecting to be in the will. Why was the niece there if there wasn't a reason for her at the end of her life to be there? Would you have thought, oh, I've got to go because, Christ, I might be in the will, otherwise, were you just being a loving niece who thought a lot of her?
I think she was more a plot device in this film because I hadn't really defined a purpose for her.
No.
She was a love interest to the reporter whose name wasn't Trevor. I forget the reporter's name. But She was essentially a love interest to him, even though he hasn't seen her in how long. And it's obvious that she lives away. She's not in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
It was all very ham-fisted the way they set it up.
Yeah. Just trying to look at the name of the report.
Yeah.
I forgot it as well.
Yeah, he wasn't really an important character anyway. He just kind of stumbled along. He was another plot device. Like, he did more solving than the inspector did because they wanted the sort of semi-heroic ending, which didn't work either.
Was it Michael who was the...
Michael, yeah.
Yeah. Michael was the reporter, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Once just the fact she's brought in to stay with them. She's had to travel a distance. We've got that.
Yeah.
But they're saying that she's went missing before, so this is like a normal thing. So she wouldn't come running every time. If this is like a third or fourth time, which the plot is trying to make you believe.
Because if one of our relatives went missing and they'd done it before, you just say, "Oh well, they'll be back."
Yeah, but also, what are you going to do? What's staying at the house going to achieve if it's not an actual search party? And plus, it would be local. Once again, it just doesn't make sense. It's a bit contrived.
Yeah.
But I suppose that story needed somewhere to go, because if they hadn't been plotting to kill Beth.
But none of the relatives actually thought, "Oh my God, we must search the woods for her." Did they?
If somebody went missing in the middle of the night and they didn't take any clothes, and if they're, supposedly wandering about, you'd search the grounds in the surrounding area, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely. Just in case, because people do stupid things like go out and when they've got a headache, they'll go for a walk, won't they, or something like that? And
strip anything, yeah. Would any constables turn up to like the end of the movie? It's only the inspector popping in every so often for a cup of tea, basically.
Yeah.
Walter's proper overacted in this. No, like when you talk about the overacted award, he gets it because.
Yeah. Well, go and find her then. Go. Yeah.
Yeah.
See that any good policeman would have thought he's guilty.
He's telegraphing it. Come on, let's be honest. If Columbo had been there, it'd have clocked on straight away.
Yeah, he would have picked him up.
But that's why I'm wondering: was this meant to be a comedy? There's a farcical nature to it, which if they had just turned the dial a bit more, this would have been a comedy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can probably see things that I see differently, but
that's why we're having the conversation, because it'd be bored if I have the same viewpoint.
I can see the point that it was a radio play. It could be a radio play, but I wouldn't have said it was a comedy.
As I said, like I said, it just needed turned a bit more and it'd been full on comedy. But like the music score.
Yeah.
Some of the music played during this just made you go, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, it was rather OTT for a thriller, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So essentially they all start getting guilty consciences and they start blaming everything on the cat and they start freaking out.
Yeah.
And the inspector's coming back and they're still putting on the pretense that she's went missing. I don't know. I think the sort of overacting part of it is what gets you going, But why would they bring Beth in?
They weren't well-known actors. So, like I said, it was really a B movie because it was the second movie up to that was in the theaters with Curse of the Werewolf. And so Curse of the Werewolf was the main feature, and this was the B feature. So,
the expectations weren't really there.
You had the ones I mentioned that were in Quatermass and Doctor Who's, and but the rest were completely Yeah.
Yeah, Chris,
Three,
you said at the start, if this was in color, wouldn't have helped it at all. The fact that it was in black and white helped the atmosphere.
yeah.
Yeah, it would have. It's like when people do restorations of movies and take all the grain out, and then you lose the shadows and everything else, and they put it in stark light of day. It doesn't really work.
The woman who played Clara, the only other film she starred in was The Brides of Dracula. So, she wasn't.
Oh God, was she the? God, yeah, I remember her character now. She gave the whole big speech, didn't you?
No, she was. That wasn't her only film. She's done a lot of TV. Everything else was TV
All right, that's
until 1981 when she starred in Clash of the Titans. But apart from that, everything was TV. Randall Not Kirk, stuff like that. Yeah, but yeah, she was in Brides of Dracula. So let's see what she done in that.
I suppose fair one, eh?
She was Greta.
Yeah, Greta, the gypsy woman, the
Yeah,
one that gave the speech by the fire. That was actually a great role she played.
yeah, yeah. Because I imagine that she can play quite an evil part anyway.
Yeah, well, she played that role in The Brides of Dracula. It was quite good.
Yeah.
It was actually, she's one of the more captivating performances apart from the Baroness.
Yeah.
Who, as we talked about, was a wasted character. Like, she should have been leading that film.
Yeah. And you had, they all come across as like TV
sort
actors.
of jobbing actors, TV actors. This is like their first film, and they're a wee bit out of their depth, apart from one or two.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So, but if you think of it as well, we found the budget was £81,000. There were 23 actors in the film. In total, it says.
Yeah, it was a large cast.
Yeah. So in total, including the crew, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 41, 51, 54, 56 involved in the film. So £81,000 among 56.
Yeah, it's not very much.
They were getting a lot. Look, 81,000 is worth 1.8 million. I said, didn't I? So divide that by 56.
Yeah,
they weren't getting paid a lot, were they?
No,
so,
they were. Yeah.
I wonder how much a cat got, because they got to pay the animal trainers, haven't they?
Well, the trainer and the cat were both credited, so it's obviously the trainer the
pay for him.
There's a scene in this where they're trying to find the cat. Like, the police are out looking for the cat with cans of sardines, and you see one of the constables like taking one of the sardines and eating it himself, and you're sort of like, that's what I'm saying about the comedy aspect. I'm like,
yeah.
It's a bit on the hammy side in a lot of parts.
Yeah.
There's a bit where imagine bringing your entire family in, relatives you hate.
Yeah.
And then basically just telling them straight out, I murdered my wife and this cat knows it. I need you to catch a cat so it can't finger us.
Yeah.
And everyone just goes along with it.
God. Oh my God, he needs committing. He needs sectioning this guy. The cat's after him.
No, but you would get him banged up and then her estate would go to everybody else anyway.
Yeah.
I don't get that's the bit where everybody knows that Walter and the service killed Ella except the inspector.
Yeah.
Which is a bit okay.
That was the other mistake I noticed. When the cat scratched Andrew's face, the scratches in one scene were done that way. In the following scene, they were that way.
Yeah, they were ridiculous. So It was like a tiger
Oh,
scratch.
yeah. Because a cat would just go like that and quick scratch.
Yep. It just
Knees
blast
would
you, you know.
fall right down.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, they pointed the different ways. So. Hello, Chris. I missed you. You all right, mate?
It's not a stream without Chris on it. It's not a
Chris,
proper stream.
if you listen, if you find my Gone in 60 Seconds DVD, it was here a minute ago, but
Da. Oh man. There was who was it? Andrew? No, it was Clara, wasn't it, with a kitchen knife?
yeah.
But so and just a whang.
Yeah.
You're hitting Beth in the head. You're like, bloody hell, this is a bit intense. Good throw though.
Yeah. But no. I think as a basis, I think the story, I felt the story could. Perhaps it was the story I liked, because being a writer myself, I thought the story had potential. It probably had a lot more potential than what they gave it. I think if I don't think I couldn't see it being made today, because they just CGI the cat.
Oh god, yeah.
And they'd have someone in a starring role, and you know, and
the thing is, this was an hour 15 minutes long, and it still felt a bit too long.
yeah, you know, perhaps it could have been done on the Hammer House of Horror 1 hour.
That would have been a brilliant episode.
With the adverts, you know, cut it down to 50 minutes. Perhaps that's what they should have done with it. You know, it could have been, or in an anthology, like you know, the ones that
Amicus or something, yeah. Yeah, I think that's what it was. They're trying to drag out a simple story, and the fact they had to bring so many characters in to bulk out the plot, because there really wasn't. You know, Ella gets bumped off. The cat sees it. The cat terrorizes the ones that did it. It's not really much of a plot to make a full feature out of.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see where they're stretching a bit with the premise to keep the story going.
Because in an anthology, you didn't need you wouldn't have needed all the rubbish about Andrew catching the cat in the two brothers catching the cat and Andrew taking it away. You can skip that bit.
Well, the fact that they brought the extra cast in, like Andrew could have done that himself without having to bring the other three family members in.
Yeah.
That's where this gets a bit over the top.
Yeah.
But the music, the jolly music, the play with the catch the cat, and he's skipping his I'm going to murder the cat now. Skippity do, happy music playing.
Yeah. But you could have kept that bit with just Andrew and Clara, because they were the guilty parties.
Yeah.
And the old guy was in bed. You could have kept it with just the two servants who were responsible for setting up the trap, and them committing and done away with the family members who didn't seem to serve a purpose, really.
No, they were just brought in as extras. That's what I'm saying. I don't know whether I enjoyed this or not, because it seemed like a bit bloated, and it seemed as the movie went along, they had to bring more people in to bulk up a weak story, and they made the story weaker by bringing in more distractions.
Yeah.
Like, I even had a problem in bringing Beth in, because she didn't really serve any purpose. If this was just a stormy night, straight after the event happened, and the cat just going around taking revenge,
yeah,
you know, and just tighten it all up, this would have been a really, like I said, I could see it as a radio drama, like especially with the lightning and stuff. You know, that was really overhammed, but
yeah,
I could picture them.
Beth's purpose was to be the goody with the cat.
Yeah,
I think they saw that right, because they thought the cat's got to have someone to trust. Who else can the cat trust? And we know that animals weigh people up, because you know Oreo will walk down the street, and the one she likes she'll talk to, and the one she looks walks past. I'll tell you what, Oreo is racist. Yeah, yeah. I'm not going to go.
Yeah, I'm in
She
enough
is.
trouble in this channel. Thank you very much, Steve.
No, I've got a racist dog.
Oh god, there's YouTube having a freak out now. Go, blah, 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 blah.
She hates Star Wars fans, Chris.
That's just being sensible.
Luke, I am your dog.
My dog Ralph, he didn't like people. If he didn't like somebody, he wouldn't go anywhere near them. But there's others he'd go up and wag his tail. He was very wary. But funny enough, one of them was my old boss. Wouldn't go near him at all. Because my boss lived locally and would not go near him. And that's when I start changing my opinion, because I'm like, hold on, my dog doesn't like you. I shouldn't really like you. And his dog would come to me all over, be all over me and stuff. Come and wag his tail and be all over and be my best buddy. And apparently his dog never went to anybody. And I'm like, yeah, well, my dog's not returning the favor, so something's wrong here.
I told you about that when I was in Starbucks that day, when I was giving Oreo
doing this treats.
Yeah, and I say 5. Now, whether it sounds funny because I've got a Devonshire accent, the guy behind me says, "I can't believe you're making that dog go higher," because Oreo would go like that with her paw. And
yeah, high 5, yeah.
5, yeah, and he thought I was saying higher and not 5. What the hell are you on about?
Maybe it's like that are looking for it. They're out every day looking at.
That's what I'm saying. 5.
Yeah,
5. This is get a life.
No, that's their own head. That they're always looking for stuff like that because that's their whole purpose of being.
Yeah,
friggin' idiots.
I should.
But yeah, that bit really got me as well when the capture of the cat with this over extravagant trap. Like they couldn't set a snare. As in with the trap, they had to all be waiting in the bushes to pull the string.
Why didn't he take it in the cage? Why did they have to take it out the cage and put it in a bag?
Because you couldn't, so you wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
And then we had the next bit of the plot where he trips over and it gets out. It's.
Yeah.
But the playing the happy music, I'm off the murder. Skipping them off the murder of the cat, ha ha ha, and everyone popping champagne and shit. Like, I'm just going, what is this? That's why I'm wondering if it was meant to be a comedy because these are pure like daft comedic moments.
Yeah.
Like it's the third act where the film really falls off the rails.
Yeah.
Like all we needed was on the rooftop scene was a bit of lightning, striking him. That's.
I mean, Beth didn't once say to the policeman, "Did you know they're trying to kill the cat?" She was there showing her discontent with them, like attempting to kill the cat and storming out the room, but I mean,
didn't do anything about it and didn't leave.
Call the RSPCA or whoever they had back then. The police should say there's animal cruelty going on here.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole family's a bunch of reprobates. Best dressed reprobates I've seen. Like, they're next to the Grey Twins the way they're acting. They're all dodgy folk. And then you wonder.
They're just in it for what they can get out of the will.
Yeah.
They knew that because they said that he married into money. So it was obviously her that had the money. They were obviously in it to see what they could get out of it. And of course, when he was asking for their help to say, I've killed the bloody missus and the cat's after us. Can you help? They were seeing dollar signs, weren't they? Or pound signs.
Yeah, but once again, they would have just stitched them up and dropped them in it.
Yeah, and then when the guy died, wasn't it? That other one says, "Oh, I'm the main one in the will. You're not. It's all left to me now." Yeah.
it was all very strange and very convoluted to bring extra actors in.
Yeah.
Because realistically, Walter should have just left it to Beth. Job done.
Was it a book or was it just I'm trying to do
I
the
don't know.
wrong
I think they were just struggling to make a full feature out of this. I think that's what it was. It was a very short. It was a short story or a television episode's worth of a plot, and they tried to make a full feature out of it. And really, they struggled.
Yeah. It was the guy who wrote it was a proper um, film writer.
Hmm.
He did Night of the Ego, City of the Dead, Shadow of the Cat.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. But like I said, not for a full film. This would have been a TV episode,
Yeah.
radio play, whatever. It just wasn't a strong enough story. I
No.
like this is probably one of the earliest attempts at the old fisheye camera,
Yeah.
trying to give it from the cat's perspective. That was an interesting attempt.
Yeah. You know what we were saying about Hammer should have put it in one of their Hammer horror 50-minute things. Well, this George Baxt, his main writing skills were done for things like Tales of the Unexpected, which were a short thing.
That would have been a classic. The unexpected episode.
The Edgar Wallace Mystery Theatre, which was a TV series, wasn't it? Half-hour things. Yeah. Looking at a lot of his stuff, although he did write the additional dialogue for the Revenge of Frankenstein. It's only additional, and he was uncredited.
But he's not a feature film writer.
No, the Kraft Television Theatre, which was a TV series. Goodyear Television Playhouse, TV series. Matinee Theatre, TV series.
You see where I'm coming from? Do you see where I'm coming from? Where the tone of this doesn't fit with, because. And that's not slagging anybody off. If you have a particular skill set and you write a certain way, it doesn't mean it meets every form. For example, if you're normally a novel writer, you might struggle with short stories. If you're normally a short story writer, you might struggle with novels. It doesn't mean one's better than the other. If you write engaged stories in a particular format and people enjoy them, crack on. Sometimes when you try to break out into something else and you're not experienced in it, you're not necessarily going to land. So you can kind of see he's written TV episodes, and you can see where he struggled trying to make a full movie out of this.
It's one of the reasons why John Cleese said he would never make Fawlty Towers into a movie. He said because normal TV scripts say was 30 pages for a comedy. He says Fawlty Towers was so intense that it was double the amount. It was 60 pages. He said he says that was 60 pages for about 30 minutes. He says imagine how many pages I would have had to done to keep the pace going for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
He said it just wouldn't have worked. He says, and he was a TV program person, half hour. He anything over that half hour, he used to join up with people like Eric Idle,
and that's where Monty Python, come in. So when
always needed like 5 or 6 of them to write a longer thing, but
there's no shame in that.
No.
There's no shame in going, here's my skill set. So if I'm going to do something different, I need help.
Yeah.
And that's been lost today as well. Because of egos, people are like, well, I'm the bestest ever. And then they produce absolute guff. And then they get upset if somebody criticizes them.
Yeah.
And that's just pure narcissism today. Where at least people would have went, well, this isn't my wheelhouse. I need someone to help me out with this. Try and make something good. Once again, you still get that impression that there's people trying to make things to entertain you back then. But there's no attempt now. It's just, let's throw something out on the screen. If it works, it works. I don't care. I got paid. I'm in with the right crowd. I'm all right, sort of thing. I don't know. This does. It just descends almost into farce at the end. Like, who is it?
It's
One
very quick at the end, wasn't it?
goes up onto the roof. The whole attic collapses.
Yeah.
Like over dramatic. Where all of the deaths so far have been Walter has a heart attack.
Andrew,
Andrew falls in the
the-
mud.
yeah.
Clara falls down the stairs. It was all within a certain pace that you could imagine the cat. And in fact, this would have been brilliant if you didn't know what was happening and then found out at the end it was a cat.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Mm.
They're searching for her secret will, where she had in an office and then brought it back to the house, where all she had to do was leave instructions. Okay, here's my will. I want a copy to go to Beth. Final will and testament.
Or if she had left all her will to the cat.
Yeah. Haven't people done that? And then,
Yeah.
but then it has to go to like a charity or something if the cat dies.
Yeah, for the
And then you've had people from charities bump off cats to get the money for their trusts.
yeah, they leave it to charity to take care of the cat, don't they?
Mm.
And then when the cat dies, the rest of the money goes to the charity.
Yeah, and you find the charity helps along the way. I'm very suspicious of charities. It's virtue signaling, and usually they're very nasty people.
Yeah.
When very nice salaries as well in charities.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh God, but yeah, it just the ledge chase scene with the cat, and the cat didn't even bop him on the. Like, if the cat had clawed him in the hands and made him fall, I would have got it.
Mm.
And that maybe would reveal that it actually was the cat. People were maybe thinking it was her spirit.
Well, the cat jumped on his face and mauled him.
Yeah, and then he fell over. Oh, where she hid the will was brilliant.
Oh,
this room's all barren except for the one strip of wallpaper.
Yeah.
I wonder where it could be.
I wonder why they were digging, wasn't it?
But they were digging everywhere except the one strip of wallpaper, which was like stuck in like a sort of thumb.
Yeah.
And you're just like, once again, the whole premise of this, Walter's living his life. He's living in the big house, and Ella's just in a room reading her books.
Yeah.
And he's put up with her for how many years at this point? Because I'm guessing he wooed her when he was younger.
Yeah, but it's like I said, it would have been any husband's dream to, for the wife to say, "I'm just going to my room to read," and in this day and age, the husband would go, "Yes, I can watch the football," or rugby.
Do my own hobbies.
Oh God, I'm going down the pub with the mates, and then so why he wanted to kill her off? Some old pirate. The cat gets the inheritance. You have to wait until they lost. Oh God!
Oh,
is that one of your theories, Chris? Is it?
It's a pun off. We should get that on one time, not like a rap battle, but used to give them the cheesiest puns. Everyone can vote who wins.
He liked my joke the other day about the mathematics teacher who had quadruplets, and the wife says, "What should we call the boy?" And Adam. He says, "All right." And what should we call the three girls? He goes, "Multiply them, subtract them, and divide them."
Oh dear, that's the true horror of the show. How did Ella end up with her hand sticking out of the grave? And why didn't they throw her in the swamp? Like, they've made a big thing of this swamp that makes people disappear. So why did they bury her in the dry bit, like in a shallow grave?
It must have been pretty deep, that swamp. It swallowed Andrew, didn't it?
Yeah.
And who would go over to a swamp anyway? I mean, not even the police search for the what's her name over there, did they? They didn't bother going, oh, she's missing. Oh, no, we'll search the area.
Yeah,
So
maybe
why-
look in the woods in case she's wandered off, if that's what she's prone to do.
Yeah, yeah. But, why didn't they dump her over there? A lot
Yeah,
easier.
but her hand just mysteriously ends up sticking out of the ground.
Mm.
But yet Andrew completely disappeared and they were able to fish him out.
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't add up. I genuinely thought, I remember at the start of this, I thought they just buried her in the front of the house.
Yeah.
I actually thought they buried her in the front garden, right under the window.
It's like I said, from an author's point of view, the story was there, and
the crux of a good.
I enjoyed the film from my point of view, but I could have really seen it as a Sherlock Holmes type of mystery, or a 50-minute Hammer TV series program, or even Tales of the Unexpected. It was more of that, but I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the cat. I thought he was lovely.
I think the cat was beautiful.
Yeah. Best actor in the.
It outacted the entire cast. I think that's a takeaway from this. That when the cat outacts the whole cast.
Yeah.
And they keep bringing more cast in. It was like, what? How do we fix this? Something's not right. More actors.
Yeah. Yeah, who have no purpose. So
yeah, I think just keeping it tight. Honestly, if they had just kept it tight to the household, and if they mysteriously died and had accidents, and then they start blaming each other, so maybe Beth was already living in the house.
Yeah.
A bit like a Poirot mystery or something. There's a whole bunch of them in the house already, and then they hatch this plot, they carry it out, and then people start mysteriously getting bumped off, and then they blame each other. And then the reveal at the end is the cat was doing it. That would have been absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But the way they did it was, like I said, it was borderline comedy.
Yeah. I don't know.
It was just the execution. Like I said, I just thought, like yourself, I thought there's a good story here. It's a good, supernatural aspect of her. Did Ella possess the cat? There could have been all those sort of hints thrown.
Yeah.
But it didn't go there at all. It went somewhere completely different.
It's the fact that the Raven by Edgar Allan Poe was read at the beginning could have set the basis, because Edgar Allan Poe was a fantastic writer in that genre. He was a very scary writer, really, wasn't he? And it could have had a bit of possession from.
Almost like a witch's familiar, that's what I was thinking. But and that's what I was expecting from this story, but got none of that. And even say the Hannah went and decided to look at the book she was reading. Yeah, she was reading Poe for a bit of relaxation, but if it turned out she had spell books, and then transferred her energy at the last minute to the cat or something, that would have been a Hammer film. I think that's my whole crux. This is not a Hammer film. If it was the first one or two, yes, I could see them. They were still finding their feet. But 13 movies in, this is not a Hammer production. But because it's a joint production with BHP, you can see that that's entirely their film. And Hammer tagged on for the name.
Is like a sub company. Like when you get a film and they say, I don't know, a Colin production of a Steve production, of a Fred production, because do you think that, like I said, Hammer, they wanted someone to have a big name with it, so they chose Hammer. But
well, it's the same as Hammer using Universal.
Did Hammer use BHP? Was it the other way around? Did they think?
I don't. BHP was not. Who even remembers BHP? There were.
I've never heard of them. Not until this came up. I thought
the fact that they hired so many actors, etc. This might have been an early This was the washboard going. The washing machine hadn't been invented yet, so there wasn't like. This was the washboard going. I think there's a wee bit of money laundering happening here. Bit of tax breaks going on.
Yeah.
And like you said, it was only a B movie anyway, so it wasn't meant to be anything.
Yeah. HP Productions.
But here's the big question:
Find something about them.
When all's said and done in this, and nobody gets arrested, by the way, because the cat takes care of everybody involved, and the family get taken care of randomly as well, and they weren't even involved in this.
Yeah.
Why didn't Beth take the cat with her?
Yeah. I'm just trying
to. Yeah, I'm looking as well here. While we're talking, there's not very much.
It's not.
It's one of them films that turned up and disappeared.
Yeah, because a lot of them are saying, "Oh, it was the supporting film for the Curse of the Werewolf."
Mm.
So a lot of the times, people didn't really care about the supporting film.
No, it was just there to fill seats.
I know the Roger Moore film Gold was a supporting film to a James Bond movie, just because he was James Bond, and so people were expecting Gold to be another James Bond film, and of course it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the cinema to see it because
maybe that was part of the agreement. They needed to be linked together to get the B movie on the.
Yeah.
Like today, this would be in a film festival.
Yeah,
it's that sort of thing. It wouldn't be it wouldn't even be either limited production in the cinemas or it'd be in a film festival. It wouldn't actually be a proper full-on production.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was it was a fun wee film. I wish it could have made its mind up of what it was trying to be.
Yeah.
That would have been nice. Just keep it simple. This is where people are overthinking.
Yeah, I think looking at it, this was probably something that was could have been made by unknown filmmakers. A bit like your mate in America who's asked to make films for the sake of it, isn't he? You said about in this day and age, it would have been something that was shown on Amazon Prime. The films that were 3.8 and below.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, it wasn't trying to be anything, so fair enough. But even at the end, they were almost trying to set up for a sequel, which was a bit insane.
Yeah.
I don't get it. So Beth doesn't take the cat with her when she goes to leave with Michael. And then they sell the house and the cat's staying around the house. And of course, everyone's bumping out of the carriage and like, oh, Grandad, we need to talk about your will. Lol gag set up for a sequel. And you're like, what are you doing?
There's absolutely nothing on the internet about BHP.
No, it's obviously turned up and vanished and did a handful of movies. It did what it was meant to do. It's almost like one of them ad hoc companies. I'm considering the number of cast involved in this was completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
I am honestly thinking this is a tax break. I'm genuinely thinking that this movie was a bit of a.
I'm there thinking because at first we were linking BHP and Hammer to I'm there thinking, was it the other way around? Did Hammer look at it and think, hold on, let's have a company that takes the blame for being shit movies?
Yeah, but once again, this is where the B movie came from. It was the second show, and it wasn't meant to be anything, so the expectations weren't there.
Yeah.
Like I could have quite easily we could have passed over this one.
Yeah.
is not a full horror production.
There's absolutely nothing about.
No, this is more of a mystery than the actual plot of the movie. Is who this company was. It's a completely.
There's absolutely nothing on them. This company does not on the companies thing. This company does not appear to have been active since 1973. So they disappeared in 1973.
Yeah, it didn't even make it on the IMDb database. It was an ad hoc. It was an ad hoc tax break company to do what it did and then disappear. And there's probably loads like that.
Yeah.
The difference is back then there was, pre-internet, this probably happened all the time. The difference is today there's a record and a digital stamp on everything. So you can, and the nerd exists now that will go Hogan and get the whole history. So it's harder to do now. But back then, this is probably part of the course.
I mean, me and my dodgy side, back when I was accounting, I set up a company within an educational establishment in order that the company could be invoiced for anything to do with training, and therefore we could claim the VAT back as an educational establishment through the company. So we were saving the VAT. I shouldn't say this on live anything.
Sorry. Boom, boom, boom. What's that? Knock at the door. HMRC comes through. Bag over the head. Off you pop.
So I'm retired then.
Oh, right. I was going to ask you to do my accounts later on, but maybe not.
Oh, it worked.
As we'll both get hauled into court.
It was a legal loophole. Let's just say that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Look, at people do it all the time. I have seen some dodgy stuff going on in my time. Expect government contracts make your eyes water.
Yeah,
and you're just like, why is this? It really does make you lose faith and want to do anything.
Yeah.
Edit it out. Stop incriminating ourselves. Sorry, nobody watches anyway. We're all good.
God, I'm annoyed that
you get arrested for in this country anyway.
Oh,
all right. Let's talk about stuff like this is fine. It's if you mention anything else, certain things.
Yeah, you get arrested for things. Like
yeah,
that.
well, don't even say it.
Get arrested for other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Financial fraud's fine. That's all right. Don't worry about it.
I predict the riot.
Yeah, thanks. That's his channel getting flagged now. Cheers, mate. Who needs friends that are enemies when you got friends like Steve etching you up? Oh man. Yeah. All in all, it was a strange movie. You can see shenanigans going on.
Yeah,
and it's almost like the entire production were aware the shenanigans were going on.
Yeah. I think to summarize, like we said, possibly a radio play, written by a guy who was renowned for TV series in the same genre, but he was used to writing 30-minute and 60-minute plays.
You can see where he struggled here.
It would have done better as a Hammer House of Horror TV program that lasted for 50 minutes, with the adverts. And the best actor was the cat.
By a mile.
But the basis of the story was there.
Oh,
and I enjoyed the basis of the story. And I think it opened better than it finished. I thought, because the opening gave the impression, hey, this is going to be good, because
intense.
If you read something like Edgar Allan Poe, especially The Raven, you knew what it was. I knew what it was, and you the first thing you think of is, and the guy when he come in to club the woman, it just gave the impression like it was going to be a Sherlock Holmes film. I know that type of thriller.
I was thinking supernatural, borderline supernatural drama, guilt, finger pointing between each other. I wasn't expecting what we got.
No,
but
no.
there you go. We don't look at this.
I enjoyed it in black and white because I thought,
it would have been really color.
Color would have spoiled it, especially with the cat.
Yeah, color would have ruined this.
Yeah,
it wouldn't have added anything. Yeah, there you go. That was that. An interesting one. Like I said, we don't look at this through rose-tinted glasses. In fact, the reason that we're looking at these is just, were they as good as we thought? Does looking through nostalgia hold up? And at times, most times it has. Other times it hasn't. Times, I guess, it's questionable. We're trying to,
The other thing I picked up on, which I meant to talk about, was the cat. The cat was the best actor. No, because in films they tend to use, especially horror films, a black cat.
Yeah,
isn't it? A black cat is known to be evil, and in this one, Tabitha was a tabby.
Yeah,
and I thought, yeah, give the other cats a bad name for once.
People still think like that.
Yeah,
especially over in America, they still think, not so much here, but apparently in America, they think like that about black cats, and they can't get black cats adopted in shelters and stuff.
No, I know.
And when I heard this was still a thing in the 21st century, I'm scratching my head going, what?
Yeah. But I thought to use a different, color cat,
not go with a trope.
And the thing is that, I mean, did they audition the cats? Did they think, oh, let's try this black one? Hold on, we got this really evil-looking bloody tabby here, who's playing the part, really well, and when he looks at you, puts his ears back and stuff like that.
Stare at me.
So you can tell I like the cat in this.
But yeah, there you go. Fun as always, folks. Thanks very much for tuning in. Always great. And God, what have we got next? I didn't call that up.
I don't know.
We have got The Phantom of the Opera.
The Phantom
of the Opera is here. Inside your mind. Haven't seen that in years. The actual proper West End play.
Oh, I love that West End play, because I'm one of these that feel sorry for the Phantom, because it's that it's a good play when you start to pick sides. You either go in there and you're sorry for the girl and think, but I felt like, he'd done everything for her, and she like stabbed him in the back, and I was really sorry for the Phantom, but I saw it twice so far, and no doubt we'll see it again.
Okay, but looking forward to that one.
Who's in this one?
Pass. I've just looked up the spreadsheet. I'll have to. It's not the Robert Englund one. We're not. That's a bit ahead of the time.
That
was an interesting one.
Yeah, because it's been attempted many times, hasn't it?
Oh yeah. Some better than others. There's been some absolute woeful attempts at this.
Yeah.
Remember the weird French one they did?
I can never understand, because Phantom of the Opera is supposed to be French, isn't it? And it was written. Herbert Lom is in this one. It's good actor, but he sort of put paid to his serious side by being in the Pink Panther films, wasn't it? He was Inspector Clouseau's boss, wasn't he?
Yeah,
We're back to Terence Fisher directing.
all right, there we go. Back to normal. Back to the A-list.
Yeah, and Herbert Long. Who else? Anyone who's normally in a lot of the films? Oh, Patrick Troughton, who's of course the second Doctor Who. Michael Ripper's back. You remember I said about Michael Ripper?
Yep.
Yeah, he's in a lot of the. Yeah, he's back. This one looks good. Yeah.
So there you go, folks. Look forward to that one. We will be back soon. And just needing to say, once again, thanks for everybody for turning up. I can nearly speak. And until next time, keep updated with the channel, do the type of clicky things, and remember to keep it creepy, keep it horrific.